Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Brought out the four horsemen here. Thought we should have a conversation. Because even old man Rudy is having a hard time understanding this market. Sometimes when things are too good to be true, they don't last. So sit back, relax, everybody. We're going to talk about this insanity ever since the political elections passed us and what's happening on Wall Street. Bitcoin, unbelievable. That's the filming of this video now. Bitcoin's at 82,000. I'm sure by the time this video goes live, it'll probably be higher, or it'll tank. Who knows? So there's been some interesting developments in the collectible world. We're going to be discussing high-end stuff today. There's been a little bit of a red flag noticeable difference, including like Card Castle Kingdoms and some other stores actually listing revised dual lands, like revised Underground Sea. If you want to buy from the old Card Castles, near mint copies of revised Underground Sea, they have listed for $9.99, $1,000. Now recently, it bounces around between $8.99, $9.49, but I haven't checked in the last couple weeks, and a couple of you guys and patrons said, Rudy, you got to check this out, bro. And sure enough, we have some near mint copies of revised dual lands hitting near the all-time highs, which doesn't make much sense because, as you all know, Four Horsemen boxes, Four Horsemen sets, reserve list cards are supposed to be still in a bear market. Is the Bitcoin boom and breaking new highs and everything shifting, interest rates being cut, all the cash on the sidelines sitting just getting their free 5%, which is now 4.5%, which is dropping to 4%, is all this going to be enough catalyst to start tilting the markets? I made a video the other day where for the first time in over a year, we're seeing momentum in the flesh and blood secondary market. I don't need to tell you guys about what's going on in the Pokémon market. And obviously the last market left that we haven't seen any real activity in is going to be the high-end vintage Magic market. Those markets aren't tanking. They've just been boring. They've been flat, and people said the glory days are over with and everything. And I guess it just, we're at a crossroads where we really have to ask ourselves, this is the first time that everybody is no longer bearish. The amount of messages, comments on videos, like even the comments on my videos aren't as negative anymore. The volume of Rudy bashing YouTube videos is at like a 2-year low. Come on, guys. Come on, take my face, put in a thumbnail, talk about how evil I am. Like, what's the fuck's going on, man? Like, there is a noticeable tilt going on. In the last 30, 60, 90 days, it's just the fact that the comment section isn't as negative. The negative rhetoric of Rudy hate is reduced. And everyone's talking about the positivity of this new market, the long runway of growth. We have a President Trump, pro-Wall Street president incoming. You know, I'm not really sure how, because I don't really know how to take it, because I look at the S&P 500 and the Qs and stuff. I mean, what are we pushing? Are we 30% year to date? Is it more with dividends if you include that, the couple percent yield? Like, folks, there is not many moments in life where we have a year that's so extraordinary. Even the SPYs and the Qs on Wall Street are not returning double digits. We're not talking 10% plus. We're not even talking 20% anymore. We're on track for a 30+% return for the indices. In history, this doesn't come along very often. And it does fit the parameters that usually when you have these incredible moments that most people miss it, and that did occur. Most people did miss out. And the average public and the average consumer and the average American believe we are headed for a deep, 2008 big crash, reset, dead cat bounce. That was all the comments and everything in all my videos last year. And it's really gotten eerily positive. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's been a long time since I've kind of made videos and been in this environment. Usually when I make the videos, it's met with all forms of skepticism and criticism and perspectives, which is honestly something I usually like and I kind of feed on. And this channel kind of thrives on, the interactions and impressions and you all commenting and a lot of the anger back and forth. And, my marketing department is my left nut, and essentially people who don't like me that make videos, like they're the ones that advertise for me. And in going on the decade I've been on YouTube with literally one of the longest running CCG World and Patreon accounts in the industry, this is one of the few moments that it feels different. And I'm not used to that. I don't know if this is a net positive or a net negative. I don't know if this is a sign of a really short-term tippy top, because this is not like when I track this stuff and put notes and track spreadsheets and put little notations every week and every month on a timeline. Like I scan through my timeline the last so many years and I just haven't seen this before. And, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what it means. I'm having a hard time understanding, because on the surface, everything points to a home run 2025. But, I've built most of my empire and decision making, and my choices have been built over the last decade based around being a contrarian investor and a contrarian collector. I like to buy and buy collections, and I like to move in when things are bad and people aren't selling, when people are fire selling. They don't want to sell, but they're fire selling. I like to kind of make a lot of my decisions in those kind of environments, and this is not like that. Now in 2021, at the boom of the first half of the year before the tippy top of May, June of 2021, that was the beginning of the downturn. It was similar where everybody was just euphoric. Everybody was on dopamine hits and just, that adrenaline rush. And, is it really possible that I was so wrong that I said we will never see another 2021 distorted reality again? Is it actually possible that we could be going into an environment that's actually crazier than 2021? Because I haven't made decisions based around that. So it makes me a little awkward to think about that financially because, I'll be honest, for the first time in many years, even on the stock market in my portfolio, I'm actually considering taking 20, 30, 40, 50% out of the market and just kind of maybe locking it in at some, 6 month, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year bonds that just pay, 5.5%. So just kind of sitting back, and I'm just kind of, because it's just, there are points when you hope things work out and you hope prices go up and you hope Wall Street and you hope your mutual funds do well. But then there's points where it's like, man, I've spent the last decade telling you guys the goal is 7 to 9% a year. In 2024 is the first year in the last decade, I think, that I've been on YouTube talking to you guys that we could be experiencing a first 30+% return. Now, again, we've got 45 days left in the year and we could tank or have a correction. Anything could happen. But, historically, it's not a bad thing. Historically, 30, 40% returns in the markets don't mean the following year we have negative 30, 40%. Historically, the following year is more back to normal, like positive 5 to 10. But it's just, what does that mean for this? What does that mean for Four Horsemen? Yes, I love the piano. My son and I play the piano. And, but, how does that, are we on the verge of vintage magic finally tilting? And right now, in the last 12 months, was this the greatest modern buying opportunity of old magic that we're ever going to have, until the next leg up? See, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't even have an instinct on it. It feels like it's wanting to pull up. Everything feels like the momentum, everybody just wants to push up right now. I don't care if it's the S&P 500, if it's collectibles, it can be any CCG. Hell, anything from Bitcoin to Ethereum to all these Solanas, even the Cardanos and the Doge coins and all the meme coins, and everything's just going crazy right now. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, we've been through this in 2021, and obviously it didn't end well at all. It led us to a 2-year nasty crash with inflation. So this time around, folks, I don't know. We truly are going into uncharted territory when it comes to Magic because of Universes Beyond. Because we're on the verge of this new Aether set in Magic. Foundations is a massive home run, setting the foundation for the next decade. And then you've got Final Fantasies and Marvel, which, as we've learned from Marvel's Secret Lair, that no matter how much we complain and old man Rudy doesn't like this Marvel Spider-Man versus SpongeBob versus, Transformer, my opinion clearly doesn't mean shit, because the data, what we saw with Secret Lair and, Marvel, I mean, it doesn't matter what I feel like, and it doesn't matter what you guys think. I mean, the data is off the chart, and it's breathtaking and scary. So, I mean, are we going to have a situation where new Magic, we skyrocket and we have Lord of the Rings holiday special boxes? There's chatter now that 900 to 1,000 is the floor for Lord of the Rings holiday special boxes. And there's chatter that they're going to be $2,000 to $5,000 collector boxes. Huh? Like, I remember discussing, once I started seeing what was happening, that I knew the box were going to go 500 plus. 1,000, congratulations being the first collector box to hit it. But now the chatter of the first collector box in Magic to be 2,000 to 3,000. I did a single box opening of Lord of the Rings Holiday Special about a week or two ago. And after I filmed it, I looked at the price checks and I looked at the value, and oh my God. I mean, the single cards are just so expensive. So, I mean, if the EV and the cards keep pushing up, it is going to continue to put upward pressure. But I just don't know. I mean, are we really going to have $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 collector boxes when I can buy a box of The Dark from 1994 for what? $5,000? A box of English Legends, which peaked at 50, 60,000, is down to 25, 30,000. So you're trying to tell me a box of English Legends at $25,000, $30,000 range, let's just use 30,000, is going to be equal to not even one master case of Lord of the Rings from 2023? So are these severely underpriced? Or is all this new shit just the craziest bubble we've ever seen? And who's gonna argue that tug of war? Who's gonna? They said in the crash of 2022 and 2023 is everybody should vote with their wallets, and everybody should use that as the demeanor and perspective to have on what Magic products to engage with. As Blake and Mark Bottomwater and everybody said when they were trying to sell us the Magic 30th product, remember, you should only buy and engage with the products you want. Essentially, we're going to make a bunch of stuff, and you shouldn't buy everything. Now, I've never seen a company who has a brand and sells cards tell customers not to buy all their cards. Now, that's fucking weird, but hey, what do I know? I'm a Timmy in a basement trying to make it in this world, right? And I don't get it. I'm having a really hard time understanding what this means. Because if we really are, let's make some crazy assumptions, okay? Let's assume whether it's a bubble or not, let's assume over the next 12, 24 months, we continue in this upward momentum. Some corrections, some weeks where it's negative and flat. Let's assume everything continues. S&P's at 6,000. 1 to 2 years ago, if I had made a YouTube video telling you guys the S&P 500 would hit $6,000 or 6,000 a share, or the total index combined would be 6,000, whatever you want to call it, or the Dow would be 45,000. If I had stated these things 12 to 24 months ago, the comment section would have been so hilarious, and the threats and memes and jokes of how bad of an idiot Rudy is would have been off the chart. And, yet here we are, as with most people and everyone on Wall Street, nobody predicted it. And same thing. I mean, we went through a 2-year crash with Bitcoin and crypto, right? And now I'm staring at Bitcoin in the 80,000s. And now all of a sudden everyone says, the new floor is 50, 60, 70, and this thing's going to run over to 100 plus. And then, of course, you got Bitcoin people that talk about Bitcoin long-term going to $250,000 a coin, going to $500,000, going to $1 million a coin, and then everybody's going to be valuing Bitcoin in Satoshis, kind of the pennies of Bitcoin, the small denominations and everything. How many decimal points does Bitcoin go to? Is it 8? Is it 9 or 7? I think it's 7 or 8 decimal places, right? And so all this stuff just makes your brain hurt because there are some things that aren't moving at the rates that other things are moving at. And when you have different rates of change and some things have high velocity and some have low, it gets very confusing. The prices, it just doesn't make sense. It's just to see a serialized one ring, okay, sell for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And God knows what the number 1 of 100 or 69 of 100 of the one ring serialized. To see these serialized cards selling, for high-end ones, selling for 10,000 plus. And even bad ones in Lord of the Rings selling for 1,000 to 2,000. Even March of the Machines and Brothers War, these other serialized cards, selling for literally what, 1 to 500? What, Modern Horizons 3? $1,000, $2,000 serialized? Like, are we really going to have, if I want to buy 2 one-ring serialized cards, it's going to cost me like 20, 30 grand versus a box of Legends? If I want a whole set of all the poster cards of Lord of the Rings serialized, that's going to be the cost of like a $50,000 antiquities box? So you're telling me a couple master cases of Lord of the Rings is equal to $250,000 Arabian Night box? Just to have a stack of master cases of it really makes you step back and go, I'm not sure. And like I said, it's the first time that we're in this situation where, magic's off the chart. But old magic, the truly scarce and high-end stuff, doesn't seem important. Pokemon, we've done more Pokemon videos lately, and you guys are still begging me to do more Pokemon videos. If you guys want more Pokemon videos, comment below. It's crazy. God, the weather is crazy out there. Jeez. Good old Florida weather, am I right? And so, if you guys want me to talk about Pokemon, just comment below more Pokemon videos, Rudy. Or tell me, no, Rudy, back off on the Pokemon. It's the same thing. People right now are having a hard time in Pokemon accepting that a brand new Pokemon set, Surging Sparks, is like $170 on TCG Player. Actually, $180 with tax. $180. Brand new. Just came out. Okay? And what? Stellar Crown is $110, $120 already? And what? Twilight Masquerade, Eyes Wide Shut, Pokemon, Pikachus and everything are what? $140s, $150s? People are having a hard time accepting that these prices are the real deal. And then you have people stepping back. And I had some messages this morning say, Rudy, you got to make a video. Did you see, what was it, Sword and Shield? What's that? Oh, base. The base set of Sword and Shield. TCG Player. Less than 20 boxes left. $350 to $500 a box for fucking Sword and Shield base set. Now, friendly reminder, when I sold Sword and Shield base many years back, people said, yeah, right, Rudy, I'll wait for the clearance and the dumps on Amazon, eBay. And then when I sold Scarlet Violet base, again, people laughed and didn't sell good, and that's why I have so much of it. So I'm seeing things like Sword and Shield base set is going to be a $400 to $500 box. And then some of you say, well, Rudy, everything's Fugazi fairy dust. Well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is the greatest bubble of all time. But this bubble can go on for years. Doesn't matter if it's a scam or it's a bubble and Pokemon and the companies, and this stuff can keep going for years. As they say, see, the problem is bubbles in market irrationality can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It could be, Pokemon could be in the greatest bubble ever. But if that bubble doesn't pop for 30 fucking years, joke's on you, Poindexter. Do you see my point? It's not about whether you're right or wrong. Life is about timing in moves on a chessboard. It's no different than the game of chess. We all know how to play chess. We know the basics of it. It's like playing the piano. We know the keys. We know the songs. There's apps, and you can just follow along in keys, and you can learn basics and everything. But the difference is how you navigate it. How do you get to that end goal? What's your strategy? What's your posture? What's your hand? How do you think about it? And that's what really differentiates. That's what changes everybody. Oh, you play chess, Rudy. That's great. Move your little pawns for him. You move your little pawns. You jump your horsey over. Move your little diagonal guy and move the little castles around and try to you're gonna sack your king for you're gonna sack your queen for the other queen and just kind of take out the queens, or what are you gonna do? A little castle, a little rook and a little king, a little swap, a little castling there. I mean, you can say all these, but I mean, it's the same game with like infinite possibilities. And right now, there's so many uncertainties and possibilities of the direction of these collectibles. It's extraordinarily tough to know what's happening, everybody. And, we talked about Magic. We just talked about Pokemon. I just made a video telling you guys, the last three Flesh and Blood, because the last three sets have been so good, it's going to pull that shit into a bull market, man. I would not be surprised over the next 12 months in the path that we're seeing with Flesh and Blood, that we're going to, the continued player growth with the upticks across the board and the single card prices. I mean, we're going to see, there's a good probability we see a ripple through that whole market and secondary market, and we see a lot of repricing, and the old stuff just gets fucking disappeared. The amount of old Flesh and Blood on the open market is so low. If we have the slightest movement, like I said in the other video, the shit can go crazy. And then look at One Piece. One Piece, I was critical of One Piece. You guys were critical because guess what? They came out and they reprinted the shit out of all their sets. Now here's the thing. They stopped. They did their big reprint because the Game Piece Army demanded it and stores demanded it. It's over with. Last I heard from an email to myself, they're not going back to reprint the One Piece sets anymore. It's done. They did the reprints. Everything's over with. Now, again, a lot of the prices have come down, and if you missed out, great time to buy. But I'm looking at this stuff. And now we just had the One Piece release, or we're about to, of the new One Piece Premium set. Now, again, I'm going to shill for myself because, that's what I do. I don't have sponsors, and I don't accept them. I have a One Piece sale coming up next Sunday of this new One Piece Premium booster box that everyone's going fucking crazy for. Prices are like $150, $160 on TCG Player for a box. And yeah, this time around, I paid extra per box. Okay, I paid over wholesale distribution, got extra, and I got up to 600-700 boxes because I paid a premium. In other words, I understand wholesale maybe $70, $80 a box. No. I paid extra to get some extra boxes. So, I can actually offer patrons more than a stupid 1 or 2 box combo. I can actually offer people like a full case and a half case if they want it. That's been one of the issues lately, is because things are getting crazy. It's tough to offer higher quantities. So I know a lot of you are excited about that. It's the first time I brought it up, and that's going to be next Sunday. And of course, now coming up here on Friday, maybe this Friday, maybe next Friday, I finally got some more Ethereum Legends booster boxes from other stores, and I pulled from the West Coast of the United States to actually offer patrons, you guys have been asking me, to just sell some booster boxes without promo cards or kits or anything. So I'm very excited to finally be able to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to slot this Friday or next Friday, but it's coming up. And yeah, it'll be below MSRP. I don't know if that's a thing. Some people are so obsessed with MSRP now, I don't know. But look at what's happening. Look at the games. Magic. Look at the Pokemon. I just told you about what's going on in Flesh and Blood. Sorcery. Look at our Arthurian Legend. Look how good it's doing. Look at Weiss. We have like 7, I think maybe up to 9 Weiss sets from the last few years now that not only recovered from the lows of 30, 40, 50 a box, are hitting new highs of 70, 80, 90, even 100 a box. Now remember, wholesale Weiss is like, 50, 55 a box? I sell it for like 60, 65 a box. And again, so when a $60 box moves to 90 or 100 in a year or two, that's a big deal, folks. That's a huge move. So, yeah, what I'm getting at is when you see everything moving versus just Magic or just a Pokemon bull market, historically something greater is going on. The fact that all the card games are having this momentum, you have Bitcoin just crushing. I hope nobody out there is short Bitcoin. Good Lord. And then the S&P, the Qs, everything, just annihilating the market and going up. And then collectibles, everything riding that wave. And remember, folks, for the last 3 years, we had 2 years of a bear market and 1 year of people saying dead cat bounce, and 2024 was going to turn around and crash at any moment. So we had 3 years of opportunity to accumulate, to buy, to collect, to invest in the S&P, in Bitcoin, in real estate, in collectibles, in vibrating inflatable dolls that Rudy likes. You had the opportunity. I did. We all did. And now it finally feels like in mid-November of 2024, the market and the attitude of everyone is finally turned. And I don't know if that means we're at the top. I don't know if that means we are now, because now we're approaching, usually, again, I told you guys a year ago, usually bull markets aren't accepted by the public until year 2. It takes an entire first year block for the bull market to be accepted and for people to believe it's real. And it clearly is. So that leaves us with the very last point of this video. What happens to the 4 horsemen? I got them out. I took them out of the Rudy vault. What happens to the sealed and the single cards of vintage Magic? Is it finally going to roar back with a vengeance? And as much as I'd like to sit here and tell you guys, yes, get ready, buckle up, Buttercup, I'm not sure still. So unfortunately, we are getting the framework so that the vintage and the reserve list can make a run again and get exciting. The foundation is there, no pun intended, Magic Foundations. But so far, we've got some good upticks. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we've got things like Card Castle Kingdoms, Revised Dual Lands. Remember, the reason I bring up Revised Dual Lands is because those are always like the barometer. Those are always the cornerstone. They're like the foundation. More memes. You know, they're always, Revised Duals are kind of that entry level. It's kind of the gateway drug. You know, the Revised Duals are that kind of, you know, psst, hey, come on, let me give you guys a free taco, and I got some Chick-fil-A sauce down here in the basement. You guys know Florida doesn't have basements, right? You know, it's kind of that indicator. And right now, the indicator's flashing that something's going on. And a skyrocketing Bitcoin market could easily have millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions, that people lock in profits and gains. And it could move elsewhere because that happened before. And remember, folks, anyone who, as of the filming of this video, anyone who's ever bought Bitcoin, if you held it and didn't try to flip it or trade it, anyone in the history of Bitcoin who's ever bought it and just did nothing at all, you made money. All you had to do was buy it and do absolutely nothing. You made money. That's where the market is right now. So that's all I have today. I wanted to just kind of spew these Rudy thoughts of the situation and try to decipher what all this means, but it's definitely going to be a different shift for me in the videos and everything because I don't have that negativity to lean into anymore. You know, it's very difficult, and you know, I can put negative titles in the videos and I can kind of do the thing because that's what gets you guys to click on the videos. But overall, I mean, everybody's realizing that things have turned. Now, whether you want to believe it or wherever you're living in the world, maybe your local economy's bad and your job situation's bad, so your personal feeling isn't as good as maybe what I'm reporting on, and you're not wanting to believe it. But I'm just telling you what's happening out there. Now, your personal life and personal city, town, or whatever may be different, but the world is moving forward, and it's going quick right now. And I don't know if this is going to have a slowdown soon or if we're going to run for a while is the real question. So, like I said recently, I ran the Foundation collector box and play boxes to patrons. You guys bought the shit out of them. I ran my sale last night or the day before, depending when you watch this. I sold Foundation play booster boxes for $116. Fucking blew out the whole pallet in, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And even the regular play boxes, got a shill. There has been no data and no slowdown from you all buying even Bloomborough, Thunder Junction, even Duskmorn. I am moving hundreds and hundreds of boxes of these play boxes every single day for $116. You guys are just blowing me up every day. And I guess, another indicator would be if I saw you all slowing down on your spend rate buying draft and play boxes from me. Because we saw that in 2022 and 2023. There were some windows in there when gas hit like $5 a gallon and interest rates were going crazy and the market was tanking. There was days, I know this is going to sound stupid, but there were even a couple days where I had 0 orders for draft boxes. And that was still when the price was like $88 a box or $87. I don't know what it was shipped. So even when like Wildsville drained for $87, $88, or I don't know what it was, a Brothers War, Mark the Machine, or Phyrexia draft, all these boxes I was selling for years for $87, $88 a box shipped. You guys didn't want it. People just weren't buying them, and now I see and I can feel the excitement and what people want. Now, by the time I turn this camera off and I check my email, I assure you there's going to be another 5 or 10 orders of just 30, 40, 50 boxes that people have bought just during the hour I filmed this video. And that's how I know things are continuing to push forward, okay? When I look at the views on this channel, they've upticked tremendously. This channel is generating like $15,000 a month in YouTube, Google AdSense money, and just from commercials and you guys watching the videos, and I'm eternally grateful. Even my Patreon account, I think we're like 1 or 2% off the all-time high of just some people's payments declining. They take their slots, and the same like small portion of, 100 slots just kind of rotate around of people who you lose their account from declined payments. They get delinquent and purged, or someone closes their account, they're gone, and someone takes it. You have this little cycle going on, but it's still, the data is very bullish. Even when it goes to Pokémon, even Sorcery and White, and then of course even Flesh and Blood. I've even got a Force of Will set coming up at the end of the month here, and I only get like 100 boxes or something. You can't get a lot of that crap, and even then, it always sells. Sometimes I get a couple cases left, which is great because I love to keep a couple cases of every set because of the history of it. But everything's just doing good. And the data of the spending supports what I'm reporting to you all. Okay? That's all I have. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're interested in being a patron, you can always, remember, some patrons buy stuff from me. Some patrons buy everything. Some patrons never buy anything. They're just like, Rudy, bro, I like to watch everything. Thanks for the videos, home fries. No worries, waffle fries. What do we got coming up? So we got the One Piece premium sale coming up. That'll be $10, $20 off TCG Player, depending how much quantity you buy, or maybe $30 off you buy a case. It'll be really nice there. That'll be a good one. We've got the Arthurian Legends booster boxes and cases coming up below MSRP. Woo. We have the Pokémon throwback to Sword and Shield for the Lost Origins, some ETBs and things in the cases. You guys will like that. What else do we have coming up? I know there's a Weiss set you guys have been asking me about. Friends starts with an F? Apparently there's some high demand Weiss set, which I think I screwed up because it doesn't look like I'm getting much of it, and I'm getting a lot of you guys asking, so that'll be interesting. That's it, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Hope you learned something today. I'll be interested to see you guys' opinion. I don't know. I guess comment below. Do you guys think this Bitcoin thing goes to 100,000, $250,000, $1 million a coin, and Bitcoin's so expensive we're just buying and selling items in Bitcoin and we're using just Satoshis because it's so expensive? We're just using small percentages? And are these collectibles? Are we really going to have an entire year of Magic collector boxes just constantly hitting all-time highs, and I'm just pumping out videos trying to keep up with all these highs? Is this Pokemon thing going into this new Prismatic set already sold out online? Doesn't even come out till January? And then Team Rocket set coming out next year? Oh my God. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something today. As always, have a beautiful day. Remember, folks, spend your life. Life is short. Take care of yourself. Health is very important. You can't do anything. You can't have deep thinking without good health. Spend your life taking care of yourself. Be active. Don't eat as many tacos and waffle fries as Rudy. And make sure you surround yourself with good people. Remember, surround yourself with more successful people. Surround yourself with positive people that give you something to look forward to and help you better yourself. And stay away from the drama. Stay away from getting sucked into YouTube and all the social media websites and Facebook and the Twitter thing. And don't just follow the drama and negativity. It's not healthy. And historically, it doesn't put you on a good path, everybody. You guys have a beautiful day. Oh, 4 Horsemen boxes. Myself and my son's piano. Paintings. I think that one came from auction. I think that was Cleveland. Was that Cleveland Museum? Or Cleveland, or that was a university. I don't remember where that came from. This one came from a gallery. Those two came through, I think, Christie's auction house in New York. Super cool. The pair, really cool too. And like I don't know if you guys can see the details. And I know it's got all the traders and merchants like buying and selling, negotiating. Really cool stuff. You can see them all like, no, I give you this, you give me that. Super cool. If you guys still really do want to see, I know some of you guys tell me you want to see some art stuff, but I feel like it's there's a lot of art you guys haven't seen and everything. And I don't know. If you do, let me know. If you really want a video of just me talking about art and everything, I feel like I'd bore a lot of people, but have a beautiful day. Should we end it on the penis? All right, we'll end it on the penis. Fuck it. Penis.